And we want to remind you that our beautiful kitchen is brought to you by Kitchens by Design. Always beautiful, always by design. Also, what we want to mention, watch out, Tracy.
Put it down.
I got a spoon.
I don't
no
trust
smarting
you.
off today. Okay.
I like you, I don't trust you.
Gee, that's what my ex said. Okay.
Okay.
So coming up, we've got Dr. Makari.
Yeah.
She's already been on. She's talked a little bit about autism. She's also in our tech center, and she's going to be answering any questions that you may have. What you can do is you can email those questions at questions@wishtv.com.
Indie Style.
Or Indie Style. Just kidding. IndieStyle.com.
Questions at IndieStyle.
That's right.
I had to cram on that. But in essence here, we're going to kind of continue talking about gluten-free cooking.
Right.
And the good doctor showed us a lot of things for an Easter basket, kind of ready-to-eat things. But for people who like to cook, a little bit more entree type, bigger type meals or dishes, it's a consideration.
Well, first of all, we're seeing gluten-free everywhere. I was at a party last week, and there was gluten-free cupcakes. And the guy in front of me went through line and said, "What is gluten, and why isn't it in those cupcakes?" Like, we're just wondering what it is.
Just worry about the taste.
I know, exactly. So actually, like we said, it's the protein in wheat and rye and barley. But what it actually is, if you picture yourself kneading dough, it's almost like those little rubber band strands that kind of grow. That's glue. We get the word glue from gluten.
From gluten.
Okay. Yeah, so just to kind of bring it home, it gives breads its chewiness, okay?
All right.
So people that have celiac disease, it's an autoimmune disease of the small intestines. What happens when people take in anything with gluten, those little villi, picture back in science class, they freak out. The medical term is
freak out?
Yeah, exactly. It's get inflamed.
Okay.
So what that means is your body wouldn't absorb any nutrients. So you'll start to see deficiencies of calcium, iron, lots of different things. So it can be a serious, not to mention all the cramping and pain that goes along with
not
having
digesting it properly, right?
Exactly.
Wow, okay.
Exactly. So we've got some products to choose and products to lose, and we're going to talk a little bit about why. So there, if you think about all the things these people would have to rid, breads, pasta, rolls,
tons of
pancakes,
stuff, really.
waffles,
A lot of different
almost anything in a box, really.
Right. Okay.
So here are some products that are on the market now. Whole Foods has just an array of selection, and they have everything clearly marked. Something that all of us that need to go gluten-free would want to remember is look for hidden glutens, because there's the whole cross-contamination thing. Okay. So in other words, and now here we've got products to lose. Foods that even don't necessarily have gluten in them could be made in a factory that also uses wheat.
Good point. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that.
You almost need to think of it like almost in the same mindset as a nut allergy, where it doesn't necessarily have to have it as an ingredient if it's in proximity.
Yes, absolutely. Or, you know, even on like conveyor belts, a lot of companies will use some kind of wheat product so things don't stick. So it's hidden a lot of places. There's no better example of that than soy sauce. There's actually wheat in soy sauce. So then you think about marinades, dressings, nothing is off the table. You've got to watch. So instead of soy sauce, I love using this now anyway. It tastes,
liquid aminos.
It's Bragg's Liquid Aminos. I love this product. It's a great thing to use in the kitchen. Tastes just like soy sauce.
Does it? It's wheat. Not quite as salty? Or?
Not quite as salty. Yeah, the sodium. So for those of us that are trying to watch our sodium content too, it would be better.
It's a great option.
Absolutely.
So
Bragg's is a good.
I think it sounds like a band.
It sounds like a band.
The Liquid Aminos are going to be in Broadway this weekend.
Yeah, the Liquid Aminos. I like that.
Anyway,
that's good. Extracts everything you would have to watch, even something that you think would be benign, like rice, because rice doesn't have gluten in it.
Right, because it's not a wheat. That's where I think maybe people oversimplify.
Yes, well, but once again, made in a plant that also.
So if it's coming in contact with it, consider it.
Yes,
something you wouldn't want to use.
You can't, and you've got to look at ice creams, ketchups, condiments, because wheat is a stabilizer. So these,
everything.
My heart goes out to these people.
I thought corn was in everything, but wheat's in everything between the two.
It is sprays. I mean, you've really got to be on the lookout. Yeah.
Really? How do they fit wheat in there? Seriously.
Well, this one actually has.
Oh, it says. Oh, so it does say.
This one actually has flour because it's meant for baking.
If it says flour.
But even other ones, you got to look at the ingredients list.
Okay.
And thankfully, we're getting better about labeling that. So one of my favorite products to use, you guys, instead of pasta or couscous, is quinoa.
Quinoa.
And I know Andy, you've tried quinoa before, right?
What?
That's right.
Tried what?
Did you like it?
I did.
Quinoa?
Of course. I love quinoa.
Do you know what quinoa
because it's
is?
really, high in protein, which is what I liked about it.
Yes. Andy, would you pour that quinoa?
Oh,
okay, so
absolutely.
Quinoa, what it is, everybody look right here.
Okay.
It looks like quinoa, right?
Yes, it does.
It
Okay,
looks
like quinoa, but it's pronounced quinoa.
It's an island off. No, it's a. Sorry.
So we've got bands and islands.
Islands, and I'm sorry, Anessa.
No, that's
I've known you for a few
Hey,
years, so I'm just having some fun. What would it be comparable to for an idiot like myself? Is it like a couscous? Or,
yeah, it's kind of like couscous, only better. You're going to love it. I use it in place of rice or pasta, and it cooks just like rice. So in here we had 2 cups of boiling chicken broth, and we added a cup of quinoa. It's a whole grain from the Andes Mountains, and the people down there eat it every day. They call it the mother of all grains because it's, as you mentioned, high in protein, high in fiber. So which means it's going to fill you up and keep you full for longer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we got our finished version down here.
Nice.
And what we're gonna make is black bean and corn quinoa. So see how it kind of looks like couscous, doesn't it?
It does.
It's like a little bit pearlescent. And so I was chopping buckets of tomatoes over the break. So we're just gonna go ahead and put those in.
Well, they're gonna, a lot of people put their tomato plants in, so they got to be thinking of ways to use the tomatoes when the neighbors drop them off on the back porch of the spring.
I love using Roma tomatoes for this because I say they're less watery, and look at all the juice that's fallen off my hands, but they do. They have less of a moisture content. So we're gonna use about a cup of chopped tomatoes, and as summer's coming, you can get those at farmers markets, lots of different places.
Nice and fresh.
Yes, so then we add a cup, and I just go ahead and use the frozen corn. Make it easy on yourself. You got to do what you got to do.
Sure.
And can you toss that around
I can
for
do
me?
that.
Okay.
There you go.
And then we've got a cup of black beans, so we're adding more protein and fiber with this, and these have been drained and rinsed.
Really healthy dish here. See, I like the way this is coming out.
It's fresh and it's delicious. And then with I've got green onions right here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get around you right here. And I just snip them in with some kitchen shears. So this will give that good onion flavor without,
I want to be,
raw onion.
as I mix it, I want to be careful. I don't want to, is it a fairly resilient grain in terms of I'm not going to beat it up too much, so I don't have to worry about that, or?
So it doesn't, so then it doesn't, form those little strands. Okay, so then we are going to toss in a teaspoon of ground cumin. And that's that Mediterranean spice that, it's going to give a good flavor. Yes, and then 2 more things, and that's it. A little bit of cayenne pepper. Do you guys like heat?
Sure.
Oh, yes.
You do? Okay, big red gum is hot for me, so I don't know. You guys can put a little
so we'll go a little bit light on the hotness. Well, what would you serve this with? I mean, could you just serve it by itself, or would you serve it with a nice salad?
Yeah, I would actually put some grilled chicken on top of it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay.
That's what I would do. But it's a great, you're good.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Looks great, Tracy.
Colorful.
Nice job.
It's a great side dish and something very refreshing going into the spring and summer.
What are you snipping?
And what do you got there?
This is cilantro. Smell this.
Oh, yeah.
This is that. Kind of southwestern Mexican herb.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
Yes, it does. So we will just snip some in there.
Do you want that mixed into or on top?
Yeah, you can mix it in. Even the stem, it's going to give us more fiber, right?
You're really about making it easy, aren't you?
I am. I'm all about that. Okay. Don't tell Chef Tony.
No.
I didn't use a serrated knife.
That's all right.
Okay.
All right.
So we get that in, and then we can go ahead and plate it up.
Then also, we want to mention that this recipe is going to be available on our website.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna.
Oh, she's just gonna.
dump it. All right. I like that.
I hope it doesn't fall, but.
Look at that.
Nicely done.
Thank you. See how colorful it is?
Yep, that's beautiful. Well, they say food that's colorful is good for you 10 to 1. So, so let's keep that in mind. But also coming up, we are getting ready to touch on autism. Again, we're going to take a look at toys that speak to autism. Stick around. That's coming up.